button is. Welcome to the Driven Moms Answering Adversity interview series, Stories of Success Through Setbacks from Mom Elevated. Together, we can shine a light on how normal challenges and struggles are, along with how we can overcome and rise above them. And today we have Megan to share her story with us. I'm really excited to dive into this one. It seems really interesting to me, and I just love hearing everybody's stories. So if you wouldn't mind telling us a little bit of an overview of your story and about you, please share.
Yeah, absolutely. I am excited to be here. So I started my business in 2020, right after I had had my third child. I had him in February, the world shut down in March. And so I really I just saw this gap between women who wanted to start a business and support in doing that business. There's this, I think, this mentality or this visual that you have to be perfect to start. You have to have all your ducks in a row. And I really just saw this gap in support. So I started out as a VA originally, and I am an artist by trade. So I really dive deep into graphic design and website design. And that's where my passion really lies, just helping women take what they dream of and what they have in their hearts and making it a visual representation for the world. And so that's like one of my favorite parts, is watching it come to life for them.
I love that. I think that's beautiful. I mean, because honestly, that is sometimes the hardest part, is just taking that leap or knowing how to take that leap, really. Like sometimes you want to, but you're like, I don't know, can I really? Is this really
Yeah.
this? How do I forge that into an idea to make money and make it be fruitful? So I think that's amazing. And I love that, because a lot of kind of what I see, I guess, is definitely not that it's either right as you start, or when you're already probably 5 years in and you need that extra support and have that. So that's I love that. Very nice. And then so in your story with that, I can't even imagine starting a business right after. I mean, which is funny because I was pregnant when I started, so I had my baby in the middle of everything as well, our second. Um but gosh, that's gotta be such a daunting task to think about and then go into it and say, "You know what? I'm taking care of this baby, but I'm also going to start this new business baby," and kind of have them grow together.
I know. And that's where my whole name came from, because he's my little fox. And it just felt, I mean, I have two older sons. They're going to be 19 and 17. Um,
Oh,
and so I had done the whole working mom thing while they were babies and while they went to school. And there had to be another way. There has to be. It's not, you either go to work and pay just to pay for childcare, right? At this stage in our life, or you stay at home. But then there's always that, what else is there? What else can I be doing? There had to be a third way. Why can't we raise a baby and run a business all at the same time on our own terms? And I said, well, I'm not really seeing that being done. So I guess, well, I'm going first. And it's not for the faint of heart. Entrepreneurship is hard. And especially when you're raising a baby at the same time. But it has, I mean, completely formed my business. Having him at the same time has determined how I run this business and how I help other women run this business. And I really serve a lot of moms, because that's who I'm naturally attracting, right? So I think there's a beautiful story there, that you can do all of the things with the right support in place, right? We can't do it all, but we can do it with support.
I think that's awesome that you did that as well. After your other two were already grown, you've gone through that kind of, you went through that role, you went through the working mom on that kind of side of things, and so you knew some of the juggle. I mean, entrepreneurship is a little different, obviously, but you already had that to take into this piece, I think, which is really cool. So what adversity do you say you have answered, like the biggest adversity on this journey, and how did you answer that exactly?
I think the biggest adversity is always balance, right? There's this misconceived idea that there is this magical balance or strategy that's going to solve all of your problems. And there really isn't. There is no secret to what we're doing. It's just doing doing it in the most authentic way to you, right? So my biggest adversity was seeing these other women run their businesses in a way that just wasn't fathomable for me. I couldn't be a single mom and run this business. I don't have VA right now. Like I don't have anybody really supporting me in that way. So how do we balance it all? How do we do it? And I think just showing up authentically and transparently and however that looks like for you. Like this is what I teach the women I work with is how can we make your business fit into the lifestyle you want, right? Your dream lifestyle, instead of you trying to fit your life into this work that you think you have to be doing every single day. And so for me, it's just been a lot of systems, a lot of automations, a lot of the back end things that we can put into place that really support us in that way. And then I do have a support system of friends and family that do come in and help me with the baby sometimes. And just finding out which pieces, are most important. And I schedule client calls for late in the evenings and I work late at night and or early in the morning, just kind of figuring out my schedule
Yeah.
based on where we are in life, because every phase of a baby and childhood is different. They need you in different ways. So just finding that balance that works for you.
I think that's an important perspective to keep too, is because we are so boxed into thinking we have to do 9 to 5 that it's really nice to hear you say, sometimes I work late at night, sometimes it's really early in the morning. Like it's not always just in that bulk middle of the day. Like that is definitely what we have ingrained in us, but that's not
Yeah.
how you have to run your business. So I think that's really great. And I love that. Yay. What do you think it is about entrepreneurs then? I mean, because I think for sure entrepreneurship is just so unique. So what do you think it is about entrepreneurs that makes us continue through those kind of challenges without giving up when it gets tough, when it gets hard? We just have that thing that keeps us going. What do you think that is?
I think it's that you have to really know your why you're doing it. And then your why becomes bigger than any fear, any doubt. I mean, because it gets really, really hard. And I think social media sh- shines this positive light all the time. Like you're only seeing the really good parts of what entrepreneurship really is. But I love to follow the accounts that are like, this is hard. Today is hard. But my why is bigger than my why not. Right. So we just have to keep, I always like my why is on my mirror in my bathroom. It's on my planner over here. Like just little reminders of like why I'm doing this and showing up in a consistent way. That's what I do. That's how I get through some of those really hard days. It's just focusing on that.
So, does your why shift sometimes? Like you say you put it on your planner, on your mirror, things like that. Do you ever find that you need to like make adjustments to it on what really your why is?
Um, I don't think so. My why is pretty firm because sure my why could be my kids, that's part of it. Why is you the time that I get with them, but deep down my why is freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of travel, like whatever interests me, but like the core why is freedom, and however that shifts through my life. But no, it really hasn't changed. It took me a good year and a half probably to dig that deep to know really why I'm doing this, because you start out for one reason, right? And that does shift. But I think innately your why, your like core mission in life pretty much stays the same for like this part of my journey. I'm sure as I get older and things shift even more, then that shifts with it. But it's always freedom for me.
I love that. Oh, that's so cool. What takeaway or lesson would other mompreneurs be able to use from your specific experience, would you say?
I think if I could tell anybody anything, it's to be authentic. I really want you to deep dive into who you are, and that uniqueness makes you stand out. Whether you're in an industry that you feel is saturated or oversaturated, your secret is you. Like, people buy from people. And so when I help women with branding and doing their websites and things, I always say, well, what is it about you that makes you really unique, and what makes you the expert in this field? Because your story makes you the expert, and you're going to call in women that relate to your story, that bond with you, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, just take time and write down what makes me unique. What do I bring to the table that I'm not seeing? Where is there a lack of representation? Where can I like shine a light? And then that take that into everything you do, and people will respond to that because they can see the authentic.
That's so important. My favorite kind of analogy with that is thinking about, like, all the burger joints and stuff that there are out there. There are so many, but they're all still
Yeah.
open because everybody still goes to them for a different reason. There's gonna be, McDonald's has this thing, Burger King has this thing, A&W has the wonderful root beer. So
Yeah.
like, there's always something unique, absolutely, even about them, and they don't care if it's saturated or when it was saturated, they still went out there and sold their things. So I think that's so important, so key. I love that. Um, Now I get to ask you about your business and your creative genius side of things that I'm excited to dive into. What is the best way for others to find you if they want to work with you, learn more about you, and then tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So the best way is Facebook, or email me or DM me. I really love the one-to-one conversation, right? Because we're building a relationship. And you can find me at my website. It's foxandpinestudio.com. But even then, I'm like, just message me, talk to me. There's no contact form to fill out. It's just having a conversation. And what I really do is, there's 3 ways that I work with women. I have a monthly subscription where I'm teaching you through podcasts and training videos online how to start your business, and the tools and the automations and things that we can use to really support our businesses. And then I do one-to-one clients through branding, which is your mission and your values and your logos, and then designing and building your website. So I really want to support women from the very beginning thought process through setting up your very first website, because in an online world like we live in, you have to have your own space, you have to have your own website. um yeah, and it should be really unique to your brand and who you are. So I think that that's really important, to have a really good relationship with who you're working with, and like just spend the time to get to know them before you hire them, right?
Yeah.
Because you just want to make sure that you're valued and you're heard. And yeah, that's just my passion. It's just every day I want to wake up and I want to help someone start their business, because we all can. There's just so much room at the table. I don't know why we're all not
Right?
running our own little business.
I know. I think it would be so much more interesting. And everybody has a story. Everybody has a thing to tell. Everybody has something unique to bring to the table. And I think that's what I like so much about the creative genius side of things that you bring into it, because it is really hard sometimes for people to get out of their own heads and see what their creative genius is, or if it's multiple things, because I feel like some people are truly good at multiple things. So really tapping into that side, and I think that's wonderful that that's what you do for women or moms or whoever wants to work with you really. But
Right. Yeah, I think it's just really important to take what makes you unique. That's what I call my creative genius. Is what makes you unique, plus how can it make you money and build the wealth, and then how do we show that to the world in a way that speaks to your audience. And the more you niche down, the more you know who you're speaking to, the better it is for, I mean, everybody all around. So
yeah.
yeah, that's really truly my passion. And I'm so excited that you're shining a light on the conversation that needs to happen. It's not always easy, but it's worth it to,
Yeah.
to do this. Yeah.
I agree. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us today. It has been such a delight. I am honored to have you on here. Your story is inspirational, and your willingness to be open about it is very much appreciated. And needed in this space. That
Yes.
is always my take on this. No matter what it is, your voice needs to be heard and your message is important. So thank you for sharing that
Yes.
today. And for those of you out there facing your own adversity, know that you're not alone. That, again, is, of course, the important part of what we're doing here. You're not alone. So, when you need an extra hand or a mind for brainstorming during your mompreneur journey, we would love to work with you through the Mom Elevated Society. You'll find monthly check ins for goal setting and assessing, and so much more for both your business and your mom life. And then you have all these resources to tap into when you're ready for them as well. So, until next time, keep shooting for the stars. Thank you so much.